What's up, skate fam? Welcome to Deez Skates. I'm your host, David Loliet. Today's episode is brought to you by Carrier's Skate Shop in Plano, Texas, which is in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex near me. In fact, obviously, it's my local skate shop. It's also the one and only dedicated inline skate shop in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. It's owned by Fritz Peitzner, inline skate professional. He's an aggressive skater. You actually may have seen him on Ricardo Lino's channel a couple of times because Lino and him are good friends. Now, when I say that this video is brought to you by Carriers, I don't mean that it's sponsored by Carriers. This is not a sponsored video. If you watch my videos, you know anything about my channel, you know I don't really like to take sponsorships because I don't like for people to try and limit what I have to say. My opinions are my own. I like to test different products and teach different things, and I don't want anyone telling me what to do. So this is not a sponsored video. I'm making this of my own volition because, one, I want to support my local scene, and two, I have a neat product here that was given to me by Fritz to test and review. This wheel is from a new brand called Cymatics. It's a line owned by Fritz and his partners Jordan and Joshua Glowicki. I'm not sure I'm saying that right, but these guys are involved in blading camp in Spain. Now, I haven't met them, but I do know Fritz personally, as his shop is my local shop. Now, interestingly enough, this is the only variation of this wheel line right now that is made for urban skaters. It is an 80 millimeter 88A wheel. Most of the wheels in his line are for aggressive skating, and also what you'll notice is that they are all fairly hard. He's got a couple of others that are 88A, and I think one that's 90 or 92. We're venturing over into pretty hard territory. Most urban skate wheels are 85, 86A. Now, before I get into my opinions about Cymatics wheels, I'm going to give the floor to Fritz. I want to let him tell you a little bit about his inspiration and speak from the heart, so to speak, about his wheels. And then when we're done there, I'll come back and tell you my thoughts and why I think these are some of the best wheels on the market currently. You have the floor, my friend. Tell us about your new wheel line, Cymatics.
All right, so Cymatics is a brand, but we are starting at the foundation, which is what helps you roll the wheels. We got 80 millimeter for fitness urban skating. We got 58 millimeter for aggressive skating, another 58 millimeter for aggressive skating, and a 45 millimeter anti-rocker for aggressive skating. These are all different durometers. Our goal with this company is to bring all the genres of skating together. So our next drop is going to be roller skating wheels and a 110 millimeter and a 60 millimeter. As well, we're going to have crossbody bags, backpacks, cool accessories that we can all use in skating. Along with that, we're going to be providing information from these different genres all in one page where everybody can get together and share and learn. So if you're an urban skater and you want to trickle into aggressive skating, you'll be able to get the proper information there. I think it's very important in skating to know at least a little bit of every genre. I consider skating like a toolbox. So the more tools you put in that box, the better you're going to be. So if you take something from roller skating and you apply it to inline skating, you're going to be much better. Vice versa. Same thing with ice skating. They tend to have similarities, and if you can use a roller skate or a fitness skate or an aggressive skate, chances are you'll be good at all the other ones as well. I'm going to go back a little bit on the different durometers. I believe these are 88A, 88A, 92A, and 103A. The color scheme, for us, it was very important. You know, we're constantly seeing standard wheels, standard colors, which is cool. We need those. But we wanted to come in making a point, right? We wanted to come in with premium urethane, premium quality, but also really cool colors. Standard wheels, you'll see that they only print on one side. We decided to print on both sides. We put, you know, the main branding on one side, and a cool effect on the other side. Our goal is to leave a footprint. When it comes to wheels, for example, we started with an 88A. A lot of urban skaters and fitness skaters tend to wear their wheels out fast because they're skating outside. 88A will last you a little bit longer. On top of that, the place that we're getting them poured is one of the best. This is the purpose of a high quality wheel. You invest a little bit more, your wheels last a little bit longer.
Now that you've heard what Fritz has to say, I want to break down my own opinions and experiences with this wheel. I've had these wheels for a few months now, long enough to say that I really like them a lot. Now, this one is in great condition because it has not been used extensively. I have 10 of these, which I used with the NN Dragon frames, which is a 5x80 frame. I'm going to review that against 2 other 5-wheel frames in the future, so make sure you're subscribed to Deez Skates so you can catch that episode when it releases in the future. For now, the reason why this wheel is not very used is because, for the most part, I have used these wheels in a 4x80 setup. This is one of the extras that I used for the 5x80. Now, I personally feel Cymatics is filling a gap in the inline industry right now. The reason I say that is we have hockey wheels, which are very soft, right? They're made to grip smooth surfaces and are generally for a very agile setting, right? Where you're going to be stopping and going a lot. You're not going to be going at super high speeds because you're in a contained area. Then we have urban wheels, and urban wheels tend to be a little softer, but they're not as soft as hockey wheels. Some of my hockey wheels are like 76A, 78A. These are very soft. So my urban wheels, like my undercovers from Endless Blading and my junk wheels from MPC, which are both amazing wheels, by the way, but they tend to come in softer ratings. So most of those wheels that I have are around 85A. I would not consider that a great indoor rink wheel. The reason why is because whenever you skate on an indoor rink, whether it be a polished asphalt or concrete surface or a flat wood floor, you're going to have a urethane coating over that rink floor. And this is meant to provide a level of stickiness to the wheels. So that's why most of you guys, if you're quad skaters, you know that we run 92, 93, 95, sometimes 97A for jam skating, speed skating, etc. And then some of the JB crowd, rhythm skaters, dance skaters, they're running up to 100A, 101A, right? So these are very hard wheels, and the reason why they're so hard is because when you get a wheel that's 85A and below, and you combine the urethane of that wheel with the urethane that is top coated on that wood or concrete polished floor, you get 2 surfaces that adhere to each other. They grab each other. And then, yeah, you're going to have a lot of grip, but the downside to having a lot of grip is that the wheel is slow. And you don't want, I don't want a slow wheel. Lately, one thing that I've been doing is ice skating a lot. I started ice figure skating a few months ago. I picked that up. I've been really serious about it. And the thing that I notice that I really love about ice skating is the lack of friction between the ice blade and the ice itself. They're so fast and glide so smooth. And the amazing thing about that to me is just how effortless you get a lot of speed. The thing that I enjoy about these wheels is that I get plenty of grip. I get every bit of grip that I feel I need, but I also get a lot of speed. Speed that I don't get with an 85A wheel. Now the grip might be a little less, but the rebound in these wheels is on the same level as Under Cover or MPC. In fact, I'm pretty sure these are made by the same manufacturer that makes Under Cover. Don't quote me on that. I might be assuming that. But in the wheel industry in general, most wheels are manufactured or poured by a small few manufacturers. And each brand has its own urethane mixture that is proprietary to that brand. So what category would I consider this wheel to be in? I would say that this is probably one of the best, if not the best, hybrid wheel on the market. Now, like I mentioned, most of the wheels in Cymatics line are meant for aggressive skaters. If you think about the surface that aggressive skaters are skating on, it's usually a smooth concrete skate park. You don't really have a lot of bumpy textures. You don't need a wheel that is super soft and deals with bumpy textures. I have skated these in urban settings a bit. What I can tell you is that it doesn't handle the worst bumpy textures like an 85A or 86A wheel would. It doesn't provide quite the same level of shock absorption, but as soon as that texture goes away, the amount of speed and rebound that I get is amazing. It's really incredible. Now, because wheel manufacturers don't disclose the measurements of different components they put into their urethane, they're not going to tell us what the mixture is. They're not going to share those secrets. So when I review a wheel, it's honestly the hardest thing to review because it all comes down to feel and preference. And what I prefer is a fast wheel, and I tend to select surfaces that are fairly smooth. I have done my share of skating on crappy bumpy surfaces, and again, this wheel does handle those, but it's just not going to absorb shock quite as well as a softer wheel does. But by that same token, it is going to be much faster. This wheel, while it feels very hard in my hands, I can feel that it's made from a urethane mixture, a good urethane mixture. If you've ever ordered wheels off of Amazon or AliExpress that are no-name brands that come in 90A, 92A, my friend Donovan has a collection of these types of wheels that are 90A, 92A. And the problem that I have with them is whenever I handle these wheels, when you squeeze them, when you run your fingers across them, they don't feel like urethane. They feel like they're almost plastic. And that's really the difference between a good urethane mixture and a cheap urethane mixture that is not very well made. These plastic wheels, they're good for throwaway wheels, right? And my friend who has them, he uses them to work on his slides because they break loose, they have no grip. They break loose really easily. When you get into a urethane mixture that is good, like Cymatics, what you end up with is an experience that I would call the Scott Corey experience. And if you're not familiar with Scott Corey wheels, Scott Corey makes some of the best quad roller skate wheels in the world. He hot pours these wheels for Bont, and he sells a few on the side on his own website. They're very hard to get. They're in super high demand, and they run $280 now maybe for a set of 8, if that tells you anything. So they're the most amazing roller skate wheels that I have ever personally tried. The reason is because in both cases you have a very hard wheel that rolls very fast. You feel little friction, little resistance, very little grabbing of the wheel, slowing down of your motion. By that same token, they feel softer when it comes to the grip element. In other words, I don't have to put a lot of power into these wheels. I can put a lot of power into these wheels to make them go fast. But when it comes time for me to break them loose from the surface, I don't have to use a lot of power. Even in the rink surface, when you have urethane gripping your wheels, I can still make them slide all day while holding a deep edge. I feel like not enough of the high-end wheel brands are making harder wheels like this. I think that Cymatics is feeling their way through the market to see what will sell and what will not sell. Right now, like I said, they only have these 80mm wheels in their urban line, and the rest of them are smaller wheels that are made for park skating. They do have other wheels that they're planning to make. I think Fritz mentioned to me that they're going to try and make a 110mm version. So in my opinion, we're filling kind of a hole in the market with these. We have a hybrid wheel that works very good in a skate park setting, and by default works extremely well in an indoor rink setting, and also extremely well in an urban setting, so long as you're not skating on brick and cobblestone, a lot of really tough surfaces. That is the one downside of a hard wheel, and no matter how good the urethane is, no matter how the rebound feels, and how amazing the wheel is, you're going to struggle with a hard wheel when you have rough surfaces. And it's not for lack of grip, it's simply for lack of shock absorption. So while you can use them in rough surfaces, and I have for the purpose of testing, and they do work, it's just not optimal like a rink or a smoother urban surface, a trail, a city with decent roads, smooth asphalt parking lots. That's one of the best places to skate these, really, is a smooth asphalt parking lot. I love to do like figure skating drills on smooth concrete and smooth asphalt. I have had these wheels for a few months. I've been testing them every chance I can, but honestly, that's not as much as I would like. Right now, it is August in Texas. It's 105 degrees Fahrenheit every day of the week right now. I went to test these wheels the other night to do the final touches and get a feel for a few things before I made this video, and I left my house at 9:45 in the evening and it was 102 degrees outside. So suffice it to say, most of my skating has been in the ice rink lately. As soon as it cools down, I'm going to be outside on these wheels. As much as I have used them, they really have not, even the ones that I've used the most are really not worn down, especially on the side that I've skated them on the most. They're really not worn down. They last, or seem to last, a long time. I feel like I've barely shaved anything off of them at all. So I have plenty of use left in them. As soon as the autumn or fall season shows up and it cools off outside, I'm going to be skating outdoors with friends a lot more. I'll probably do a follow-up video to let you know once I've worn these down to the core, how long they lasted, and what I think of them overall. But first impressions here, having a handful of sessions on them, skating on them really hard in a few settings like rinks and urban settings, parking lots, streets. I have really nothing but good things to say about them. If you want to get your hands on these wheels, you can buy them directly from his shop. I'll leave links in the description below. They're also available at Bladeville and Loco Skates, I believe. There are a few other places you can get them too. When I looked it up online, I found quite a few places that I really didn't expect to. I thought they would only be available in a couple of shops. So if you're in Europe, you can get them on locoskates.com. If you're in the United States, you can get them directly from Fritz's website, from carriers. I'm going to leave links in the description below to all these websites where you can check them out yourself. Stay tuned to Deez Skates. Next episode is going to be a comparison between the Yo-Yo Skates Endless Blading Company and NN 5-wheel frames. I'm going to take 3 of these frames, 1 from each company, and I'm going to compare their durability, how they feel, how much they weigh, and most importantly, we're going to compare what the rockers to these are like. I see lots of comments on various videos asking what the difference is between all these 5-wheel frames that have hit the market and become super popular. I was super curious about this myself, so I got my hands on these 3 different frames. I'm going to compare them in depth, coming soon, so make sure you're subscribed to Deez Skates. And If you feel like you got some value from this video or you want to help out the channel, click the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell so you get notified anytime I release fun skating content. By the way, if you're interested in seeing a review about the wheels in this line that are specifically for aggressive skating, make sure to check out iRollerBoot's review of them. I'll link his video in the description below. It's a really solid review. He covers the wheels that I don't have. So again, if you're more on the aggressive side of the inline skating spectrum, check out his video. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you the next time I lace up.